Photosynthesis. Unlock the big question. How do living things get energy from the sun? What happens during photosynthesis? My Planet Diary. When is food not food? Misconception. Some people think that the plant food they give to house and garden plants is food for the plants. It isn't. Plants make their own food in the form of sugars using water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight. So what is the food that people add to plants? It's fertilizer. Fertilizer is a mixture of minerals such as potassium, calcium, and phosphorus. It helps plants grow, but doesn't supply them with energy as food does. Farmers add fertilizer to soil to grow better quality crops. People do the same to grow bigger and healthier plants at home. How do living things get energy from the sun? On a plain in Africa, a herd of zebras peacefully eats grass. But watch out! A group of lions is about to attack the herd. The lions will kill one of the zebras and eat it. Both the zebras and the lion you see in Figure 1 use the food they eat to obtain energy. Every living thing needs energy. All cells need energy to carry out their functions, such as making proteins and transporting substances into and out of the cell. Like the raw materials used within a cell, energy used by living things comes from their environment. Zebra meat supplies the lion cells with energy. Similarly, grass provides the zebra cells with energy. But where does the energy in the grass come from? Plants and certain other organisms, such as algae and some bacteria, obtain their energy in a different way. These organisms use the energy in sunlight to make their own food. The sun as an energy source. The process by which a cell captures energy in sunlight and uses it to make food is called photosynthesis. The term photosynthesis comes from the Greek words photos, which means light, and synthethene, which means putting together. Nearly all living things obtain energy either directly or indirectly from the energy of sunlight that is captured during photosynthesis. Grass obtains energy directly from sunlight because grass makes its own food during photosynthesis. When the zebra eats grass, it gets energy from the sun that has been stored in the grass. Similarly, the lion obtains energy stored in the zebra. The zebra and lion both obtain the sun's energy indirectly from the energy that the grass obtained through photosynthesis. Producers and consumers. Plants make their own food through the process of photosynthesis. An organism that makes its own food is called a producer, or an autotroph. An organism that cannot make its own food, including animals such as the zebra and the lion, is called a consumer, or a heterotroph. Many heterotrophs obtain food by eating other organisms. Some heterotrophs, such as fungi, absorb their food from other organisms. What happens during photosynthesis? You've just read that plants make their own food. So, how do they do that? During photosynthesis, plants and some other organisms absorb energy from the sun and use the energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugars and oxygen. You can think of photosynthesis as taking place in two stages. First, plants capture the sun's energy. Second, plants produce sugars. Stage 1. Capturing the sun's energy. In the first stage of photosynthesis, energy from sunlight is captured. In plants, this process occurs mostly in the leaves. Recall that chloroplasts are green organelles inside plant cells. The green color comes from pigments, colored chemical compounds that absorb light. The main pigment for photosynthesis in chloroplasts is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll functions something like the solar cells in a solar-powered calculator. Solar cells capture the energy in light and convert it to a form that powers the calculator. Similarly, chlorophyll captures light energy and converts it to a form that is used in the second stage of photosynthesis. During stage 1, water in the chloroplasts is split into hydrogen and oxygen, as shown in figure 2. The oxygen is given off as a waste product. The hydrogen is used in stage 2. Stage 2. Using energy to make food. In the second stage of photosynthesis, cells produce sugars. As shown in figure 3, cells use hydrogen, H, that came from the splitting of water in stage 1. Cells also use carbon dioxide, CO2, from the air. Carbon dioxide enters the plant through small openings on the undersides of the leaves and moves into the chloroplasts. Powered by the energy captured in stage 1, hydrogen and carbon dioxide undergo a series of reactions that result in sugars. One important sugar produced is glucose. It has the chemical formula C6H12O6. You may know that sugars are a type of carbohydrate. Cells can use the energy in glucose to carry out vital cell functions. The other product of photosynthesis is oxygen gas, O2. Recall that oxygen forms during the first stage when water molecules are split apart. Oxygen gas exits a leaf through the openings on its underside. Almost all the oxygen in Earth's atmosphere is produced by living things through the process of photosynthesis. The photosynthesis equation. The events of photosynthesis that lead to the production of glucose can be summed up by the following chemical equation. Light energy plus 6CO2, carbon dioxide, plus 6H2O, water, yields C6H12O6, glucose, plus 6O2, oxygen. Notice that 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water are on the left side of the equation. These compounds are raw materials. 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen are on the right side. These compounds are products. An arrow, meaning yields, points from the raw materials to the products. Energy is not a raw material, but it is written on the left side of the equation to show that it is used in the reaction. What happens to the sugars produced in photosynthesis? Plant cells use some of the sugars for food. The cells break down these molecules in a process that releases energy. This energy can then be used to carry out the plant's functions, such as growing and making seeds. Some sugar molecules are made into other compounds, such as cellulose for cell walls. Other sugar molecules may be stored in the plant cells for later use. When you eat food from plants, such as potatoes or carrots, you are eating the plant's stored energy.